sharing useful insights of the theme of this conference, which was fostering the legislative sanctity. Dear friends, as we all know, control of Parliament over executive through the process of legislation is the mainstay of the system in a parliamentary democracy and in a parliamentary form of government. The function of the legislature is to legislate, advise, and ventilate the public grievances, and that of the executive to govern. A country requires law for the maintenance of public order, for facilitating economic and social process, and for ensuring a sound and efficient administration. Further, in order to foster the legislative sanctity, decency, decorum, and dignity of legislative bodies must be safeguarded. Breach of these values need to be seen as an aberration, and corrective measures must be taken to find remedies. State legislatures has provided wonderful opportunities for debates and discussions with lively display of wit and humor. And hence, let us evolve and deepen accomplishments with dignity and a positive frame of mind. I thank the honorable members for giving due importance to the financial autonomy of the state legislative assemblies, which I feel is one problem faced by us all today, as there has been multiple queries and clarifications sought, one after another. At times, even the bills so forwarded by the state legislative assemblies are questioned and even denied or put on hold in spite of financial powers vested on the Speaker and the legislature. This does not seem to be a conducive approach and often leads to wastage of time and unnecessary delays in the functioning of the Secretariat and the Executive, for that matter. It is hence desired that the powers and functioning of the state legislative secretariats are understood and duly followed both in paper and in spirit. This would greatly ease the procedural delays, and ambiguity on various fronts would be clarified. I would like to further thank the honorable members for exchanging their views on the two plenary sessions, both yesterday and today, focusing on wide-ranging topics such as inclusion of the northeastern region in the India-ASEAN and merging the Ministry of Donor with NEC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region. With regards to the first one, I'd like to state that creating new employment opportunities and strengthening regional integration is essential for the inclusion of Northeast region in the India-ASEAN vision for trade and cooperation. Investing in communication infrastructures such as roads, railways, and air connectivity can facilitate trade, tourism, and overall development. Designating the Northeastern region as a special economic zone, SEZ, can also attract domestic and foreign investments, foster innovation and boost the local economy. Integration of India's Northeastern region within the Act East policy framework, which is also crucial for unlocking the region's potential and strengthening its ties with neighboring countries. To achieve this, it is essential to address the various challenges, including socio-economical, socio-political, and governance issues. The successful integration of the strategically significant region will not only contribute to India's overall growth, and also foster stronger relationships with the ASEAN countries. To further improve governance in the region, enhancing trust and reaching down to the grassroots level is also very essential. Enhancing digital connectivity can facilitate efficient governance by improving communication, enabling access to information, and promoting transparency in public administration. Investment in necessary infrastructure such as broadband networks and internet access points can help achieve this goal as well. Secondly, resolving interstate boundaries disputes fosters regional harmony and cooperation is essential for effective governance. Engaging in dialogue and negotiations while seeking mutually acceptable solutions can help mitigate tensions and prevent conflicts. Lastly, controlling the conflict economy, combating illicit activities such as arms and drug trafficking, and providing alternate livelihood opportunities for those affected by the conflict can contribute to better governance for our discussion to attain reality. Coming to the second topic, I believe that the need to strengthen both the Ministry of Donor and the Northeast Council for overall regional development cannot be overemphasized. Unfortunately, the present system of priority lists and retention of projects sanctioned or approved seems to have been often delayed. That causes delay in terms of energy, time, and resources, which are wasted chasing these projects, thereby delaying developments for the region. Most northeastern states are resource-starved, and it is vital that funds through them are properly accounted for. Delay in the approval may create negative impact in the minds of the people, for which the state governments and the political leadership often end up in an uncomfortable position. As I have mentioned in my welcome speech, there is also a need for clarity on the roles between the NEC and donor to transform the region into a hub of bustling trade and commerce. This would eventually alleviate the region as a country's gateway to the ASEAN countries under the government of India's Act East policy. I would therefore appeal to all the distinguished participants gathered here today to join hands together and work tirelessly towards this end, so that the people look up to these institutions and the respective state governments in a positive light. Our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has said that the progress of northeastern India is at the heart of the Act East policy of the government. In this regard, our regional planning bodies have a major role to play in opening up to the neighboring countries. As I conclude, allow me to thank sincerely, in particular, Sri Saringainlang Kumarji, who glorified the institution by being an extremely effective chairman, and I congratulate him once again for being selected as a member of the Executive Committee of CPA India Region at the 10th CPA India Region Conference recently held in New Delhi. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to the Chief Minister of Mizoram, Sri Laldu Omaji, for gracing this August gathering. His unwavering commitment and steadfast leadership is being found in the well-being and progress of the state of Mizoram. I once again thank the honorable members, the presiding officers, the MLAs, the parliamentarians, the legislators, for gracing this conference, for contributing to the richness of the discussions and the insights in the conference. The discussions over these 2 days offers us unparalleled opportunity to engage in in-depth deliberations concerning critical challenges. I am sure deliberations would only have a rewarding experience both on the developmental aspects and for all the participants as well. Last but not the least, I thank all the dignitaries, distinguished invitees, officials from the central and state governments, and my colleagues here in the Mizoram Legislative Assembly Secretariat, who had been working tirelessly and collaboratively for this conference to take place. Let us collectively endeavor to create a brighter and more prosperous future for all, and most of all, for the welfare of the people of the CPA India Region Zone 3. And lastly, we want you all to go back happy. We have given our best, but it may not be up to your expectations. So forgive us, all that we have not done what we ought to do, and what we have done what we for what we are not supposed to do. Thank you, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. May I now request Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, Honorable Shri Laldoma ji, to give his speech.
Honorable Chairman, Sri Saringen Alongkumarji, the Honorable Speaker of Mizoram Legislative Assembly, Pulal Biagzama, Honorable Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Mizoram, Pu Vanlalana, distinguished members of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. It is with immense pride and joy that I stand before you today on the second day of the 21st Annual Conference of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, India Region, Zone 3. Hosting this prestigious event in Aizawl is a significant honor for us, and I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for your presence and participation. Yesterday, we engaged in insightful discussions and shared our collective wisdom on various pressing issues. Today, as we continue this journey, I am confident that our deliberations will further strengthen the bonds of cooperation and understanding among us. Mizoram's story has been one of resilience, emerging from the shadows of insurgency to embrace peace and progress under the Indian Union. When Mizoram became Union Territory in 1972, the rest of the country had enjoyed the 5-year plan, and it coincided with the 5th 5-year plan. For Mizoram, the 5th 5-year plan of the country happens to be the first 5-year plan. That means this timing placed Mizoram at a developmental disadvantage in comparison to other states, setting us back by a quarter of century. The result is a state that is significantly challenged fiscally, with no immediate avenues for additional revenue generation, a state where industry, as it is understood in the larger national context, is practically non-existent. Furthermore, our remote location and challenging terrain significantly raise the cost of living and the cost of development. This geographic reality creates a formidable barrier to the progress that our hardworking and resilient people so rightfully deserve. Even though we are a late starter, we do not want to lag behind other states in the progress to become a developed country by 2047. Our progress in attaining the Sustainable Development Goals is a testament to our commitment in this regard. As per the latest SDG Index 2023-24, published by NITI Aayog, Mizoram, with a score of 72, is a front-runner state. We hope to affect more changes on the ground through our localization exercise in partnership with the community and the private sector. We also acknowledge that we have a long way to go and that we must scale fast. In order for this to happen, and keeping in mind the financial realities of our state, we need assistance from the central government. In fact, I may be so bold as to say that such assistance from a strong central government body is the need of the hour for most states in the Northeast. This is where the theme for today, merging the Ministry of Donor with NEC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region, assumes significance. This strategic move to merge the two entities, perhaps, please note, I use the word perhaps, aims to enhance the planning and coordination of various projects in our region. By streamlining efforts and resources, it is expected that we can ensure more effective implementation of initiatives that will benefit our people and accelerate our progress. The Ministry of Donor and the NEC have both played crucial roles in the region's development, yet their efforts have sometimes been fragmented. This disjointed approach has led to inefficiencies in project implementation and strategic planning. We currently witness overlapping roles and responsibilities between donor and NEC. This duplication often results in confusion among stakeholders and hampers the momentum of development initiatives. A merger of these two entities could conceivably streamline operations and create a unified front that speaks one voice. Strategic planning for the region has been siloed, lacking a comprehensive approach that considers the intricate social, economic, and environmental interdependencies. A merged entity would facilitate holistic planning that aligns with the region's unique needs and aspirations. We form a new government in Mizoram to meet the aspirations of the people who yearn for change and desire to see the state become a developed one, along with the rest of the country by 2047, in line with the vision of Vikasit Bharat. My government must shoulder this responsibility for my state, but this cannot be done alone. It can only be achieved when all of us here and the government entities we represent work together. I repeat, it can only be achieved when all of us here and the government entities we represent work together towards the goal of becoming a developed country by 2047. In setting the agenda for my state, we have championed our flagship program named Banakai, which means handholding, incentivizing and enabling those engaged in livelihood activities, both in rural and urban areas, to come up and sustain. This is indeed an ambitious program for a small state like ours, but it is indispensable in our endeavor to become a developed state. Therefore, we need the support of NEC and the parent Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region in terms of funds, technical and institutional support. The need of the hour is therefore a strong central body to cater to the unique developmental needs of the northeastern states. It remains to be seen if this body is to be in the form of a merged entity, as the theme for today suggests, or whether the answer lies in making the NEC stronger, revitalizing it in line with the changing needs of our times. When one speaks of development initiatives in the context of the Northeast, the NEC follows in the same breath. Through more than 50 years of its commitment to the cause of the socio-economic development in the region, the Council holds a special place in the hearts of the people of the Northeast. I had a few suggestions for the revitalization of the NEC, which I mentioned in my speech at the last plenary, and I would like to reiterate a few today. A, reviving a submission of agenda items of the NEC plenary meeting by the states. B, enhancement of budget allocation of NEC. C, allowing states to propose projects under the other components of schemes of NEC. D, enhancement of the sanctioning power of Secretary NEC from 5 crore to rupees 10 crore, which would facilitate faster sanctioning of projects and enhance the capabilities of NEC to fulfill its mandated roles. E, immediate appointment of nominated member NEC. F, NEC's role cannot be limited to a funding agency. It is a think tank for the sustainable development of the Northeast, and this role needs to be emphasized once again. G, another important aspect where the role of NEC as a think tank is needed is enhancing the efficacy of the utilization of 10% gross budgetary support for the Northeast. In view of all these points which I have raised in the plenary session, it is clear that there needs to be a change in the way the NE states are catered to by the NEC and by its parent ministry. A merger of the two is welcome if it offers a pathway to more coordinated, efficient, and impactful development efforts that truly reflect the aspirations of our people. If a merger is not possible or advisable, then as I have mentioned earlier, the NEC needs to be strengthened and revitalized so that it transforms into an entity that is well equipped to help the NE states realize their potential in the larger context of development and growth in India and become worthy of emulation even by bigger states from the rest of the country. In conclusion, let me point out 14 institutions initiated and operated by NEC, but have been taken over by the respective ministries concerned. They are, number one, Regional Institute of Medical Sciences, IMPAL, established in 1972. 2. Bhubaneswar Borua Cancer Institute, 1974. NIPCO, Shillong, 1976. Regional Nursing College, Guwahati, 1977. Northeast Police Academy, Shillong, 1978. Regional Institute of Pharmaceutical Science and Technology, Agartala, in 1979. Niramak in Guwahati in 1982. Regional Dental College, Guwahati, in 1985. NERIST, Itanagar, 1986. Northeastern Regional Institute of Water and Land Management, Tezpur, 1989. Regional Institute of Paramedical and Nursing Sciences, Ripans, Aizawl, in 1995. Northeast Region Community Resources Management Society in 1997. Lokpriya Gopinath Bordoloi Regional Institute of Mental Health, Tezpur, which was revised and reshaped into a regional institute in 1999. Northeast Cane and Bamboo Development Council, Birnihat, in 2004 for promoting of cane and bamboo technology in the region. All these institutions, which are very dear to us, have been snatched away from our hands now. Dear friends, this is how the power of NEC have been and being eroded. Let me confess that I am rather blind. I am rather blind today about the concept of merging NEC with the ministry. I have many questions in my mind today as to how the existing infrastructures will be utilized, whether NEC is going to function as a directorate, etc., etc. As the headquarters of NEC is located in Shillong, the physical closeness itself has made us at ease. Shillong is the hub where most of the problems faced by the sister states are addressed. Frankly speaking, I am also confused as to whether this forum, this CPA, is the right forum to discuss a subject so vital as this one. I therefore would like to make a humble suggestion that there should be consultations and discussions at the plenary forum before making hasty decisions at this stage. I think we have a right to be consulted, to be heard, and to be discussed with. Kalome, Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chief Minister, for your gracious words and wisdom. Your encouragement is very significant to the success of this plenary conference, and we thank you immensely and sincerely for your encouragement and for your support, which has become very vital for the success of this conference. Your words have given new meaning and direction to the conclusion of the plenary conference, which will be making a resolution at the end of the conference. Now I would like to give time to Honorable Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Government of Mizoram, Honorable Shri Vanlal Lana, to give the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, Pulal Duoma. Sri Seringyang Longkumarji, Honorable Speaker of Nagaland Legislative Assembly, who happen to be a chairman of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, India Region, Zone 3, Pu Lalbiakzama, Speaker, Mizoram Legislative Assembly, Speaker and Deputy Speaker of Northeastern States who come here to attend this meeting, MLAs, delegates, official and respected guests. It is a great honor to stand before you today to propose the vote of thanks at the conclusion of this 21st Annual Conference of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, India Region, Zone 3. First and foremost, I extend our deepest gratitude to Honorable Speaker and Lok Sabha, Sri Om Birlaji, for his inspiring inaugural address. Sri Birla emphasized on the adoption of the best practices from our region and reminding us of the responsibility we, as elected representatives, bear in bringing about change for the people we serve was insightful. His call for the adoption of technology and innovation in governance will undoubtedly be a guiding force as we move forward. A special thanks to Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, Pulal Duoma, for his insightful address on this year's theme, Fostering the Legislative Sanctity. His reflection reminded us of the importance of the safeguarding and the integrity and dignity of our legislative institution. We also deeply appreciate his generosity in hosting a wonderful cultural program and dinner last night, which showcased the rich heritage of Mizoram and added a special touch to our conference. I also want to express our heartfelt thanks to Sri Harivansh Ji, Honorable Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, for his valuable remarks. He understood the central government focus on the development of our region, particularly in terms of infrastructure and connectivity. Additionally, he pointed out that the financial support for the northeastern state has steadily grown over the years, as reflected in the increasing budget allocation, further aiding our region's progress. His recognition of the trade potential with Asian countries adds to our vision of strengthening economic ties in the region. Honorable Sri Seringayan Longkumarji, Speaker of Nagaland Legislative Assembly and Chairman of CPA Indian Region, Zone 3. We are grateful to your leadership and thought-provoking keynote address. Your contributions have enriched our deliberation and guided our discussion over the past 2 days. Honorable Sri Lalbiakzama, Speaker of Mizoram Legislative Assembly, I express my deepest appreciation for your leadership in organizing and hosting this prestigious event. Your dedication to parliamentary principle has been evident throughout, and we are grateful for your effort. Our sincere thanks also goes to all the distinguished parliamentarians, delegates, and guests whose active participation and insightful deliberation have made this conference a resounding success. Your contributions have sparked meaningful discussion that will shape the future of our region. Lastly, I would like to thank the officers and the staff of Mizoram Legislative Assembly, the State Protocol, the Police Department, and all those working behind the scene for their tireless effort in ensuring the smooth execution of this event. Your dedication is truly commendable. Thank you all once again for your participation and contribution. wishing everyone a continued collaboration as we work towards prosperous future for our region. Thank you. God bless you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Minister for Parliamentary Affairs Department, for your vote of thanks address. We shall now come to the conclusion of the 21st Annual Conference of the CPA India Region Zone 3, as we have had 2 productive days of discussion, very insightful, thought-provoking deliberations were done on the 2 topics that were set for the 21st Annual Conference. However, before we conclude the Annual Conference of CPA, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the Most Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Lal Dohoma ji, our Honorable Speaker, Shri Lal Bagzama ji, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Shri Lal Famkima ji, our Honorable Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Shri Van Lal Lana ji, all the distinguished delegates of the plenary conference, the officers and staff of the Mizoram Legislative Assembly, led by the Commissioner and Secretary, and all the wonderful people of Mizoram for the exceptional hospitality extended to all of us. Your warm welcome and thoughtful arrangements and seamless coordinations have made our experience more productive. We are truly humbled by the generosity and the attention to detail that ensured not only the success of the conference, but also the comfort of every delegate. Thank you so much, sir. Your state's rich, cultural, vibrant spirit and warmth of its people have left a lasting impression on all of us, and we take with us fond memories of our time here. We deeply appreciate the efforts made by everyone, and we look forward to continued collaboration in the future. I also take this liberty to announce that we have had 2 days of the plenary conference covering 2 pertinent matters, namely the inclusion of the Northeast region in the India-ASEAN Vision for Trade and Cooperation, which was held yesterday, and the merging the Ministry of Donor with NSC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region, which just got concluded recently. There is so much that we have come to understand through the plenary discussions and interactions with one another. Though the Northeast region have so much diversity culturally, yet we face so many common difficulties and challenges which ultimately have to be faced together for the posterity and prosperity of our future young generation and the collective progress of the Northeast region. Many intellectuals, weighted opinions on the topics were discussed, and I must say, the 21st CPA India Region Zone 3 plenary conference have been one of the best conference and productive in terms of agendas discussed. Before I declare the 21st Annual Conference of the CPA India Region Zone 3 and bring it to a conclusion, it was the unanimous decision, sir, of the plenary conference, of all the distinguished guests present here, that a resolution will be moved by the plenary conference. And to that effect, I take the honor to read out the resolution and put it to voting to be passed by the plenary conference. Resolution of the 21st CPA India Region Zone 3 Conference held at Aizawl, Mizoram. The 21st Annual Conference of the CPA India Region Zone 3 was held at Aizawl, Mizoram on the 27th and 28th September 2024 on the theme Fostering the Legislative Sanctity. During the plenary sessions, the Honorable Speakers, Deputy Speakers, and MLAs of various states of the Northeast India deliberated upon and discussed threadbare the following two topics. Number one, inclusion of the Northeast region in the India-ASEAN vision for trade and cooperation. Number two, merging the Ministry of Donor with NEC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region. After the plenary discussions concluded, the members unanimously resolved the following on the 28th of September 2024. On the topic, inclusion of the Northeast region in the India-ASEAN vision for trade and cooperation, the House sincerely appreciated and acknowledged the renewed efforts of the central government under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to work towards the socio-economic upliftment of the Northeast region, which is also renowned as Ashta Lakshmi through visionary policy of the Act East policy. Number one, the House impresses upon the central government to extend the scope of the Act East policy and Ashta Lakshmi policy by incorporating the Northeast region into the Indo-ASEAN bilateral trade agreements to encourage the Northeast region in becoming a growth engine for the nation while appreciating the region's international border trading potentials. Number two, to accelerate the completion of key infrastructure projects such as the India-Myanmar-Thailand Highway and the Kaladan Multimodal Transit Transport Project. Number three, to identify and upgrade existing international trading outposts, namely More in Manipur, Zokhauthar in Mizoram, Pangsha and Avanko in Nagaland, and Pangso Pass in Arunachal Pradesh, to name a few. Number four, to make efforts in encouraging tourism-related projects, appreciating the rich cultural diversity and resources and potential of the region for promotion and at the same time employment livelihood generation, stressing regional inclusiveness policy. Number five, to promote cultural exchange programs of the region with ASEAN nation as a multiplier factor in promoting potential foreign trade in the region. These are the 5 resolutions passed in connection to topic number 1. May I now take the sense of the House? We can take voting by raising your hands. If the House agrees, shall we raise our hands on the resolutions? Thank you. The resolutions just read out in connection to topic number 1 is considered passed. Resolution number 2, with regard to topic number 2, merging the Ministry of Donor with NEC for better strategic planning and coordination of various projects in the region. Having noted that presently, legislative oversight over the functioning of Ministry of Donor and NEC is under the Parliamentary Department-related Standing Committee on Home Affairs, it was felt that a separate departmental-related Standing Committee in Parliament, exclusively for the Ministry of Donor to oversee the functioning of donor and NEC, would strengthen the legislative oversight on their functioning and effective implementation of the schemes and policies implemented by them. This will ensure greater accountability and strengthen the oversight of the Ministry of Donor and its implementing agencies to the people through the Parliament of India. Towards this end, the Northeast MPs Forum may be approached for taking up the matter with the Government of India, as well as the Honorable Speaker Lok Sabha and the Honorable Chairman Rajya Sabha at the earliest. So in connection to the second topic under discussion, the resolution moved is that a parliamentary standing committee may be created in the level of the Parliament to oversee the working and functioning of the donor and NEC. May I now put this to vote? Thank you. I will consider the resolution moved in connection to topic number 2 as passed. With this, we have come to the end of the conference. I once again thank all the honorable speakers, deputy speakers, and all the distinguished delegates, especially honorable members from the Mizoram Legislative Assembly, led by our most honorable Chief Minister and honorable Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Mizoram Legislative Assembly, the officers and staff of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the officers and staff of the Mizoram Legislative Assembly, and the CPA India Region Zone 3 Secretariat, and all the delegates, distinguished delegates from respective 8 states who have so graciously come and participated and contributed for the success of the conference. May I also take this moment to inform all the distinguished delegates that the next 22nd annual CPA Zone 3 conference will be held at Nagaland in the year 2025. The tentative dates and month will be shared by the CPA Zone 3 Secretariat shortly. And we have already started planning and preparing from today, because we are anticipating all of you, and we welcome all of you to Nagaland in 2025. I also would like to give special thanks to our media friends and the media fraternity for your efforts and your continued encouragement to the Mizoram Legislative House and the CPA Secretariat in taking the messages to the people, being the fourth pillar of democracy. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the conclusion of the 21st Annual Conference of the CPA India Region Zone 3 here at Aizawl, Mizoram. Thank you so much.